Joining us now for more reaction is Coinbase Chief Policy Officer Faryar Shirzad. Faryar, would love to get your thoughts on the SEC charges against Do Kwon and Terraform Labs to start us off.
Good morning, Christine. Lawrence, good to be with you. We don't have any specific comment on the specific charges you're asking about, but it is another example of an enforcement action that all of us then have to review and try to figure out the implications of. We have a Coinbase, and a lot of us in the ecosystem have long called for proactive, public, transparent notice and comment rulemaking so that we'd all figure out what is a security and what's not a security. And so it's important to review the details of any particular enforcement action that comes out of the SEC, but the focus should be on transparent rulemaking, and we hope we'll see more of that in the future.
Well, if UST ends up being an unregistered security, are crypto exchanges listing it in trouble?
Well, we list a variety of tokens on our exchange that we review very, very carefully. We all have to ultimately do our own analysis, given that the SEC won't provide a lot of clarity on it. And we have a very rigorous process. I think we've gone through about 1,000 different tokens in our listing process. We list 200 of them. We review to make sure they're not securities, make sure they're cyber resilient, and we look for scams and frauds. So we have a very rigorous process. We root out a lot of things that potentially could be securities so that we don't list them on our platform. But we also have an ongoing review process. So anytime we get subsequent guidance or information out of the agency, we feed it into the ongoing review process, and then we make decisions on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, well, we did see that SEC Chair Gary Gensler is warning other platforms to take note of crypto exchange Kraken's move to halt its staking service in the United States and cough up a $30 million fine. Does that put Coinbase in the line of fire?
No, not at all. Our staking program is quite a simple one. It's very different from the one that was the subject of the Kraken settlement. We're very confident that our staking offering is not a security. We're happy to defend it if it ever comes to that. But let's take a step back. It's, as I said before, another example of an enforcement action that raises 100 questions. I think it'd be a lot healthier for everyone, a lot simpler for the process, if the agency were just to simply lay out what it thinks is a security and how all of us are supposed to make that determination. And I think the viewers here play an important role in this. I think for all of you who are frustrated by what you're seeing out of your policymakers and your regulators in Washington, they ultimately work for you. And I think it's important to let your members of Congress know, let your senator know, let the agencies know. It's only fair that all of us who are trying to build this really dynamic and transformational ecosystem should have some clear rules for the road. Not everyone is like Coinbase, where we have the ability to do the analysis and the vetting necessary to navigate the lack of clarity. But it should be a lot simpler for everyone, including small innovators and developers. And I think people should just make their voices known that we need to get to a much more fair and orderly process to make those determinations.
Faryar, I have a Coinbase account, very small amounts in it, but nonetheless, they were advertised on Coinbase staking. I put a fractional amount of ETH into to be staked, and I was given an APY on it. In other words, they advertise what the APY is. What is the difference? Because that seems to have been the issue with what the SEC was saying about Kraken. So what are the mechanical differences between what Kraken was offering with its APY versus what Coinbase offers with its staking programs? It seems as if the SEC doesn't like staking as a service. You're saying you're willing to defend it, but what is the difference between what are the mechanical differences between what Coinbase offers and what Kraken offers?
So anybody can stake their assets to be a part of the validation process. You can do it, I can do it, anybody can do it. You don't need Coinbase to do that. What we do is we make it a lot simpler for people who maybe don't want to go through the process on their own to figure out how you stake your assets to be a part of that critical validation process. And so we handle that on behalf of our customers. the terms of any rewards that they get, the duration of the process, all of that is determined by the protocol, not by us. And we never take title to the customer's assets. It's always the customer's. We simply handle the process for them and hand back any rewards that they get on the other end. We take a commission on top of it. But the commission is set out at the outset. Everybody knows what the amount is before they come in to ask us for help in providing the service. So it's a very, very different product. There is no APY.
Yeah, and yet it was. There seems to have been offered an APY at the time when I saw it, because they list the percentage. So was this I'm trying to figure out. It sounds what you're describing to be a pass through, right? In other words, that I put it in and I'm open up to the variable rate of returns based on whatever the staking rewards are at any given moment. But when it was advertised, I was given it was like 4%, 3%. It was a low APY, and it seems that the way Kraken was doing was a fixed for floating swap. So that you're saying you don't do that. This is a pass through. It just goes through. You take a VIG and that's it. But why was I then offered this percentage APY? It seemed as if that was almost a guarantee.
Yeah, the terms of our program are quite clear. We don't provide any guarantees. There's no representations about what you'll make or how much you'll make. What we do offer is what we offer across our range of offerings, which is a trusted way to access the crypto ecosystem, whether it's to buy or sell tokens, or in this instance, is to participate in the validation process by putting your assets to work in validation. And so we offer that, and then we take a commission on top of it, and that's as far as it goes.
Has Coinbase seen any evidence that suggests all staking is indeed under attack in the United States?
We don't know, but remember, it's really important for the United States to remain a part of the crypto ecosystem. I travel around the world. I talk to policymakers in Asia and Europe and Latin America. The degree to which policymakers around the world understand how transformational this technology is and how critical it is, just like in the early stages of the internet, to be in the, essentially allow the ecosystem to develop, because its full potential will only be known over time. That is essentially the verdict that's been turned in by, most economies around the world, and also by citizens around the world who are sort of voting with their feet and participating in the crypto economy on their own. So I'm hopeful that's not what the message is. If it is, it would be catastrophic for American national security interests.
Regulators, generally speaking, are anti-crypto, or are they trying just to pave the way for Wall Street to take over crypto? I'm a student of government, and it's the role of the political branches to decide if there's an industry that they like or they don't like, and it's a role of the regulators to regulate based on clear direction given by the political branches. In this instance, we need Congress to step up. We've got bipartisan leaders in the House, the Senate, all the relevant committees, Democrats, Republicans, who've all stepped up and said, we want to bring crypto under regulation. We see the innovative potential, and we're going to spend 2023 seeing how far we can get in providing clarity for crypto commodities, crypto securities, and for stable coins. And I think that's a really critical process for regulators to be respectful of. Because the political branches have spoken. They wanted to step up and provide broad frameworks around the space. And the president has said as much in his executive order. So I'm hopeful there is no concerted action on the part of regulators. One, because it'd be bad, it'd be against American interests, but it would also preempt the role of Congress and the administration, which should ultimately be setting the outlines of what we do as a country. Yeah,
so
you
Coinbase
also mentioned that there should be some more regulatory clarity. In Gary Gensler's view, there is clarity already, that there is a whole suite of laws, securities laws, that are clear on how securities should behave. And he thinks most, if a majority of tokens out there are securities. Would Coinbase ever consider registering with the SEC as he has suggested?
Remember, every crypto token is not a security. And this debate over whether crypto is a security or not a security is a very American one. Like I said, I travel all around the world. There's no other country in the world that has as fragmented a regulatory system as we do, and where you have two different market regulators, a commodities regulators and a securities regulator. So if you never step outside the United States, you think this issue about whether crypto tokens are securities or not securities is some sort of kind of existential public policy question that has to be answered. In every other country in the world, they approach this quite simply. There's one market regulator. They provide ground rules around what kind of investor protections you need, what kind of market integrity rules you need. And the crypto ecosystem can operate under those rules to figure out how to innovate, grow, develop, provide products that customers want, while ensuring the customers get the protections and the disclosures that they need. So this question.
So the question was, would Coinbase ever register with the SEC as a bank, a regulated exchange? Or the answer would be no, because you believe that these are not securities.
None of the tokens that we offer on our platform are securities, but we would love to register. We have 2 dormant broker-dealers. We would love to register them. The reality is there is no path to registration. It's not a matter of coming in and talking, filling out a form, and coming in and registering. I'd encourage you to have the SEC on and ask them, what is the path to registration? Has anyone successfully done it? What would you register as? How do you overcome the fact that tokenized assets are not allowed to be traded either on a broker-dealer or on a national stock exchange? And given that, what's the workaround to allow crypto markets generally, or tokenized debt or equity, to trade in an SEC authorized way? And the answer you'll likely get is, you're right, there is no clarity and no path on any of that. And what I hope with the follow-on answer is, but we will do notice and comment rulemaking to allow the public to participate in a process of how we get there. I think that'd be fantastic. It'd be the American way to do it, and we look forward to being a part of that.